Welcome to the 380th episode of the So Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today, we are recording on March 17th, 2024. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and I'm also 50% of this here show. With me is the man who might need to do CPR at any time, Carlos Rodella.
Oh, you were choking pre-podcast, and we gotta watch you.
Yeah, I behind the curtain here, folks. I had a sip of coffee that went down the wrong pipe, and I've been choking for literally 45 minutes before we recorded. So if you hear me suddenly go silent, Carlos, please come over and administer CPR.
I will be there in a flash. And also, yeah, it's called getting older, people.
Oh man, everything is deadly and lethal when you get older. Sip of water down the wrong pipe, you almost died.
It's over. Yeah,
you get up too fast from the couch, oh, your back is out. You
oh
slept
yeah,
wrong. You're out of action for 2 weeks.
I literally talked to a friend, and we were talking about how if you just reach over somewhere, like I'm trying to pull up my sock or something.
Yeah,
and there goes my back.
Socks are the worst, man. They make your body work so hard at this age.
I mean, that's true, but also I'll just put a positive spin on that because I've been stretching a lot more and doing yoga poses and stuff every morning, and I haven't had that problem in a long time.
Is this for your OnlyFans?
No, it's just for my only life, my body. Only Life is a funny podcast.
Nice, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, and it'll be like an OnlyFans. Make it Only Life, the podcast name. But no, seriously, that did happen to me more times than not. I would hurt my back by just doing weird bending over things. It hasn't happened for years. I've had a lot of other problems, but I think it's because of that stretching in the morning.
And plus, you've got a huge library of content built up.
What, stretching? Of me stretching?
Yeah, pictures of you stretching on your OnlyFans.
No one wants that. No one wants that.
I'm sure someone would want that. So there's somebody out there who's got $5 for you.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
I don't know.
Moving on.
Anyway, all right, folks. It's a show. We're here. We're doing it. As everyone knows, Carlos and I share a virtual living space divided down the middle with a strip of duct tape. His side, my side. Things are a mess, and we're tidying up right here and right now. Housekeeping. What you got in your side of the room this week, Carlos?
It's a mess. There's so much stuff that I literally have to break it up into 2 shows.
Yeah, you were saying you had quite a bit. So, give us a sampling of what you've got clogging up your side of the room here.
Well, that's what happens when I'm not on an episode.
I know you skip an episode and all the boxes pile up.
So the first one I'll just get out of the way is a green box because we're recording on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something eco-friendly.
Oh, no, it's also green and I compost inside it, yeah. That'll come up later in this episode, composting.
Oh, no.
Believe it or not.
Yikes.
But no, yeah, I just thought I'd bring this up because I was at my Starbucks like I normally am in the morning getting coffee, talking about St. Patrick's Day, and they were talking about pinching me because I had no green on. And that's a whole thing, where people get pinched that they are not wearing green.
That sounds like a good way to meet people if you're single. It's like St. Patrick's Day is your day, right? You go out in red and not green, and then you're like, who's going to pinch me? Also, can I get your number?
Not a bad idea. Might do that later tonight.
There you go.
But no, actually, I didn't know really the history behind it. I don't know why I didn't know, but I'm...
About St. Patrick or about the holiday?
About the pinching part. So I looked it up. Yeah. And here's the answer that I learned just today at, this age.
Was this at Urban Dictionary or where did you find this?
Google. So
okay.
It's right.
All right.
Anyways, it's because of leprechauns. So back in the day, leprechauns, if you believe in them, would pinch people because they're mischievous. But if you wore green, it was invisible. You were invisible to them.
They've got a weird, optic...
Yes.
disability where they can't see green.
Yeah, even though they're wearing green, I know it doesn't. I don't know why that makes sense. But
oh man, I sense conflict there.
Either way, that was the thing that I learned this morning, and I was like, I don't think I ever knew that ever.
That seems like a weird narrative plot hole because if they wear green but they can't see green, does that mean every leprechaun is inherently single because they can never find each other to hook up, and so they have these really lonely, solitary lives? Or do they shout all the time? Do they just try to find each other by echolocation because they can't see each other?
I know the real answer. It is that we just put them in green costumes, right? Because we're we just make our own little holidays or whatever. They probably never wore green.
Oh wow, that's a mind blowing thing right there. Because if that's really the truth about leprechauns, they wear tie-dye or like,
No.
regular clothes.
Not regular clothes.
Crocs.
No.
Small Crocs.
You just think about it. D&D, like, fantasy novels. We've probably seen pictures of leprechauns and like gremlins and stuff. They weren't like wearing green. They're just like wearing like whatever garb they had around.
They probably have like animal skins. They wear like the head of a badger over their crotch or something like that, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Gross. You're gross, leprechauns. That's gross.
Well, they also probably don't exist. So never mind. So there's that. St. Patrick's Day. Okay, the other thing is, man, there's so many things. We'll talk about Helldivers for a second because both of us are playing it. It's the biggest sensation still.
I just heard they sold more than 8 million copies so far.
Crazy. It's actually kind of taken over the PAL world.
Are you saying pale?
I'm saying PAL world.
Pale?
Yeah.
I'm getting pale.
I've actually stopped playing that game too, by the way.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah. It was more of that kind of like really cool in the moment, and now the longevity of it isn't there for me.
Zeitgeist doesn't last forever.
Yeah, but also just like gameplay, where like it just, I don't want to do any more of that crafting and resource stuff.
Gotcha.
So, but Helldivers, it's that thing where we talked about it before, but I worked with a company that made this game, Scavengers, that never made the light of day, and it got canceled. But that DNA that's in that game, which is PvE and not PvP, but just PvE kind of weird environment and enemies, messing up whatever your new drop is into a planet to get a bunch of resources and leave. Like that vibe is still kind of endlessly fun for me, and I kind of miss it from the game that never got released. Right. So that's the difference between that and like a PAL world is like I want to just jump in there and see what's going to happen. And about, I don't know what, 600,000 other people want to do that every day as well.
Yeah. The other thing too, I think that's totally on track. I think that's good. And I think that the PvE space and actually the forced friendly co-op space, people, I guess, accidentally kill each other. And I mean, honestly, I have to this day never been killed on purpose by anyone. So, and I play like a bit. So that hasn't been a problem for me. I realize some people probably have experienced that, but it's not been a problem for me. But what I do notice is that there's very quickly, people are learning the Helldivers language that we had developed in the first game. So there's a few things that we would do, like doing the emotes and stuff. Like when you play with somebody, the people who really know what they're doing, they will like try to do an emote first to get you on board to say, are you on my team? They'll sit there in a place where you can't avoid seeing them, and the ship is not big anyway. I mean, it's like a hallway basically. So like they'll stand at where the war table is, where you start the mission, and they'll like have their arms outstretched in a hug, or they'll hold their hand out in a handshake. And if you go up and shake, then you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm down with you. Like we're gonna work together. This is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
And I love getting a little, just like 3 seconds of a gesture like that really can change the whole tone of a mission. And if you try to shake hands with somebody and they don't shake your hand and they walk around you, then you're like, okay, this probably isn't going to be great. I might want to bounce on this one.
Interesting.
So I think that's a pretty cool little sub thing. I've been really looking at that a lot. But also about the quality of the game itself, the stuff you said, the PvE and all that is totally on track, and I agree. The other thing I think that really works for me and probably works for a lot of people too is that it's a really low fat, high calorie, rich experience in a very short period of time. It's like this like little mega burst of high octane gaming where if I just have 15 minutes, I know I can probably do like a whole mission in 15 minutes. If I've got half an hour, I can probably do 2. Go in, you don't need to remember the lore, you don't need to read, what was the quest log? Where was it going? And what happened to which item? Nothing.
Yeah.
You shoot bugs or robots. That's all you do. You jump in, you kill a bunch of guys, your blood gets pumping because it's usually, high intensity. You get a couple samples, you bounce, and then you're done. Like you have a really easy bite-sized experience. And in today's world where everybody's so busy and everybody has so little free time, I think that's really a very appealing thing as well.
Yeah, I think that married with this kind of what I just heard was described as like a D&D campaign, because, the first game did this as well with the kind of war table
totally.
And, what's going on in the ecosystem of this world with the robots, the bugs, and also the next faction.
The third faction.
Yeah. But like that is pretty rare. I keep saying that the only thing is similar is an MMO, where an MMO can just like drop a new, land or a campaign or series of monsters or something. And that's because it is this living thing. And very few like looter shooter games do that. I mean, they try, or they'll do a season or something, but that stuff's so like choreographed. And what the Helldivers, Arrowhead's doing so well is they're just dropping things in, and they're like dropping in hints, and they're dropping in like teasers. Like before we got the mechs, we just saw like a broken mech somewhere. And they would just show that to some players, which is really smart.
Flying bugs is the new teaser.
Yeah, because of the pesticide thing. And so, like, yeah, I just think that they're really smart in how they're delivering all that stuff. And more games should, like, definitely listen and learn from this, because that idea of, like, teasing it out is something that makes you want to go back. Even to the simple fact that I was saying this before the podcast, I just go into Helldivers and check the war table, because even how they're like maneuvering the areas, the sections, they'll change the way the sections are. Or you can like mouse over or control over like an area and see how many people are there. And that kind of alludes to like, well, what's going on over here now? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So I love that kind of real-timeness of it. And I think they're just doing so many good things. That said, and almost kind of like a double-edged sword, I can also get burned out of it. But to your point, I don't have to like play it a lot. I could be like, jump in, jump out.
Yeah.
And now I'm burnt out for a while. I'm going to go play Final Fantasy or something else. But you can always seem to come back to it and be like, well, what's going on now? You know?
Yeah. And, and that's totally fair. And I think that's good. And they're definitely doing a good job of it. But for me, I'm not really invested in any of the story or whatever. I just turn on my game. What's my daily mission? The dailies are finally back, by the way, in case you haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Which is good news, because then you get another source of getting medals, which that hasn't been working for a long time. So it finally worked. But unfortunately, they broke something, because, man, my games for the last 2 days have been buggy. And not the kind of bugs that you shoot with your rifle. It's been crazy buggy lately. I saw a dude running around. It was just the backpack and the gun, but the guy was invisible. There's people standing on top of like invisible hills. The polygons are getting stretched out to be like a mile long. I had two games yesterday.
Yes,
with those really long, weird ass polygons and stuff. So I don't know what they did, but somebody fucked something up. But regardless, what I was going to say was, you don't have to engage in any of that stuff. Like, you don't have to like, oh, we've got to take back Sector 7. I gotta play for 9 hours. No, you don't. You just play as much as you want, and then you bounce. I pay very little attention to it, and I still have a very good experience with it regardless. So, and also, just to be a complete dirtbag, I just want to say that like almost every single thing that Helldivers 2 is doing, they did in Helldivers 1 like 10 years ago. And it kind of shows how that game was ahead of its time and really underappreciated, because really the only difference is like the perspective. It was isometric back then, which I still think is awesome. They changed it to full 3D behind the back, but otherwise structure, the gameplay, I mean, they didn't have the game of service angle with like the battle passes. That was not there, but like otherwise, everything's basically identical except for the perspective is different. So if you think this game is amazing now and you didn't give it the time of day back then, well, I guess you missed out 10 years ago, I suppose.
I know, but it's really like a vindication, right?
Yeah.
Of like what you've been talking about it forever. So like, we definitely are the podcast was like here before the sensation happened.
I mean, not to toot my own horn, but yeah, I've been singing Helldivers' praise for literally 10 years. Yeah. Same thing with like the original Nier. Like at Game Critics, we were celebrating that game when everybody was taking a shit on it. And when you say that phrase, take a shit on Nier, what are you talking about? It's a modern classic. Yeah, right, buddy. Back in the day, everybody took a dump on that game and they were like, had no time of day. It was like the industry joke for a long time, but we stuck by it, and then look where it ended up. So,
yeah,
I think that maybe we've got our pulse on the thing that's happening 10 years from now.
Wow, just check out the So Videogames podcast. We know what's going to happen in the future.
We're archiving all this stuff right here. Go back, check in 10 years. We'll be right.
We'll be right. One quick thing about Helldivers before we leave is, I make all those TikTok videos. All those bugs you were talking about, I want them on camera.
Oh, yeah.
I've been trying to get this one where you can drop down a stratagem as the ship lands, and then it will knock the ship out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, people keep trying that one. I see people doing that all the time.
I think they
now.
Patched it. I think it was early on. You can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I haven't seen it happen once.
Because they don't let you drop stratagems like even anywhere near the ship now. Like they made like an invisible wall around it.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah. Side note, I'm making a game which we'll talk about later, and and I also worked with the team that was working on Scavengers, which is a game very similar to this. So every time I see something in Helldivers, I just also look behind the curtain. I'm seeing like what code they're doing, like how they're doing that, and the stuff that you mentioned, like the stretchy polygons and all that stuff. All that stuff happens because you do an update, and the minute you do an update, you're touching code.
You touch one thing, it breaks a
million things. Yeah. So I totally see it. But the other thing I did do is Hellmire is a planet that has fire tornadoes.
Yes.
I didn't even know that. That's the fun thing of just kind of exploring. I didn't know that planet wasn't available and then it was new or something, and I just went there. And I saw these fire tornadoes, and I made a TikTok of this, but I don't know why. For some reason, I thought I could shoot them. And so I did, and it worked. Like I made a fire tornado stop by shooting my fire gun at it.
Weird.
And then, weirdly enough, on top of that, someone replied in a comment and said, I worked for a fire department or something, and we would fight fire with fire at times. Like, you can throw a bomb at, like, certain fire or whatever and make it go out. I don't know. It was like this whole discussion about fire with fire came up, but did you see those tornadoes? They're pretty cool.
I did see those, yeah. Well, speaking of, so a couple things. Boy, Helldivers is just the game that keeps on giving this week. But so I did see the fire tornadoes. I did see the meteor showers. Have you been in a meteor shower yet?
I've been in everything, yeah.
The earthquakes.
The eon storms, the electrical storms.
Yeah, the electrical storms, earthquakes. There's also the new fog that they've been. I don't know if have you seen any of the fog or like the mist? It might be at a higher level than you're at. Like, what's your difficulty level right now? What's the highest you play?
I sometimes will go to challenging, but I don't need to. Like a lot of times I'm just in easy because I don't give a shit.
For sure. I just unlocked Suicide Mission, which is third from the top. So it goes Suicide Mission, it goes Impossible, I think, and then it goes Helldive is the last. I don't really feel like those are playable right now. I feel like we don't have enough tools, and I don't think the spawn rate is right. I feel like they just get too impossible. But anyway, regardless, what I think it might be when you get to the higher level, you start seeing different objectives. You get like the hunter nest, and you start getting the it's not called mist spawner. It's like a mist spawning. It's like a giant mushroom that puts out poisonous spores. Have you seen that one? So like there's this fog condition that you can go in, and it's just like green fucking fog all over the place. You can't see shit, and the bugs obviously can go through it like no problem. So that's another kind of like a weather pattern thing that you can deal with. But
interesting, yeah. By the way, I think I applaud the developers for this, but like there's very few things that I can't see based on difficulty. Like, I know that you said they did that, and they do that now, and they did that in the original game.
Oh, yeah.
But in general, I've been to every planet. I've been part of every storyline, like, and every kind of, like, beat that's happening, but just at, like, easier levels. Like, there hasn't been, like, we just had to do the termicide, release all this gas.
Yeah.
I did that as solo. Like, it wasn't, like, off from me, And so I feel like they do a really good job of being inclusive because I don't feel like I have to be on those harder things. And I went to like the hardest that I can go to, which I think is hard right now as a solo player. And I was like, oh, this is just, I don't want to do this mission anyhow. Like it's like 5 things. It's like, take this thing to this place. And what's funny is that like, and this is my real two cents on it. As playing as trivial, easy, and whatever, medium, I like those missions the best. Because it's like, go kill this thing and then be done. Like we were saying earlier, like don't spend a lot of time. The other ones, as it gets harder, they just become more complicated a lot of times.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like that's not the fun to me. Because then I just have more chances of dying, and it's not like, no, seriously, hear me out. It's not rewarding in any real way to me.
Sure.
Even if I was playing with a team, it's like, oh, and then you have to like, coordinate with them and say, you go do this, you go do that. Again, my type of play in video games, I just don't like. I don't want to do that, and it takes away from what we just said. Is like just jump in and jump out. So all the way up to medium, those missions like kill the brood commanders, kill the big robots, blow up this thing. Like that's exciting to me.
Sure. I mean, as long as you're having fun, I mean that's really the point of it, right? So whatever way you're having fun is valid and good, and I support that for sure. But there are definitely, it does get. The missions do get longer. The missions do get more complicated as you go higher up in the ranks. There's a lot of objectives that you probably haven't seen yet, like some of the different tasks, like the more complicated tasks.
I don't want to do complicated tasks.
I mean, there's enemies to fight that don't show up in the earlier, like the Bile Titan shows up, the robot tank shows up.
So that's what I'm saying. That's not true. They fixed that. They changed that in this game. I've seen every enemy. I've seen every Titans. Enemy. Yeah, because I if I go to medium, I can see every enemy. I think there's not any enemy I don't think I've seen. I've seen Battle Titans.
You wouldn't know if you hadn't seen them then, because you don't know, right?
It's true.
You don't know. You don't know.
If they're just if they're just harder, I don't want to see them. Like the Battle Titan was fucking hard, and I saw him by myself, but It's a whole other discussion. I think it's interesting that they don't show some of them, but like, yeah, I don't want to see super hard enemies. Yeah,
because you wouldn't be able to do it on your own. I mean, that's kind of the point of like the higher difficulty. You have to have a team. You have to work together. So they do give you enemies that do require teamwork. I mean, in one of the levels I was doing yesterday, we had I think 3 or 4 Bile Titans show up. So it's like it wasn't just one. It was like they just showed up as an enemy, right?
I do have thoughts on that because as you see on I watch all the videos and the message boards and stuff, but like people are like, those spawn rates are too high, and then devs were like, yeah, they are, so we're going to change them.
Sure. Yeah.
So you start putting in 2 and 3 of things that are super hard, then it's challenging to do that balancing, I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I don't disagree with that for sure. But before we bounce, though, I do want to say one more thing about Helldivers too, though. Just as
I have
FYI.
one more thing too.
You go, do yours first. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. You do yours first because mine's a problematic thing.
I was just going to say that there's a new battle pass. I don't know if we mentioned it, but a new battle pass dropped.
Yes, I saw it.
So the third battle pass, I forget what it's called, but it has a bunch. It's like another 3-pager. So there's 3 things to go through. Excuse me. Sorry, freebie. But there's 3 pages of stuff to collect. I think one of the guns on there I've been using is pretty good, actually. It may not be the highest damage, but I think it works really well. It's a laser gun, but it fires short bursts of lasers, so it ends up feeling more like a machine gun, but it has infinite ammo because it uses heat sinks instead of hard ammo, which I think is really cool, and I like it. The only thing I don't like about it is it makes a regular machine gun sound, and I need it to make a laser sound because it's really weird to me that it's a laser gun, but it makes a machine gun sound.
That is weird.
It may be a small thing, but for me, I thought it was glitched at first. I'm like, why does it not sound like a laser? What's going on? So I need them to fix that, but otherwise it's a pretty good gun. There's also a stratagem that reduces the frequency of encounters, and so like if you put that one on,
I saw that.
Yeah, I've been using that one. It's not like a drastic change, but I think it's definitely a small change. So I think that every little bit helps. But I appreciate they keep the new content coming. And again, if you don't, I don't know if you saw this now, but there's a giant debate going on where people were saying, well, Helldivers is pay to win, and the other side is like, no, it's not. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe I should get your opinion on this, Carlos. I realize that there are items and guns and grenades and stuff that are in the battle pass. Are they necessary? I don't think they're necessary. I think, and also you can earn currency in the game itself. So I think there's an argument to be made that it's not pay to win in the strict sense of like a mobile game where you just like buy the most expensive stuff and then all of a sudden you're super powered. I mean, regardless of what gun you have, you're going to be getting your ass killed 1,000 times in a mission. And none of these things are like a win button in any sense of the word. So
no.
I kind of debate that it's pay to win. I think it's just this extra stuff. And like I said, if you don't want to pay, just earn the currency in the game and then you can buy it that way. So you're not locked out of it even if you don't have the cash.
Okay, I have thoughts. Welcome to the Hellcast.
The Hellcast.
I'm just going to call it.
I know, right?
But because there's 2 debates. One is this one, which I would say, just to remind me, in the battle passes, you're paying for that with, yes, you can get stuff in game, but when you buy those credits, those aren't going towards what you can buy in the battle passes, right?
Okay, so if I remember correctly,
I think they only buy the cosmetic stuff in that other store, the superstore.
The superstore, yes, those are cosmetic things. But I think you can. Okay, man, there's like 3 currencies, so I'm trying to get it straight.
I'm launching the game as we say it.
I mean, fact check me because I don't recall off the top of my head, but I believe you can get all the stuff in the battle pass with the currency that you can earn in the game. Like if you find out those pickups, I believe those can go towards because you're getting medals. That's what it is. You're getting medals for the battle pass. So you find medals in the game clearly. I don't remember if you can buy the battle pass with the in-game currency or if that's only real cash. I don't recall. You'll have to find out.
Okay, so that's what I'm looking at right now because that's the thing is, if I go to my battle pass, you're paying with medals, right? And the medals you're getting in the
medals
game.
are for the items, but to get the battle pass, does that use the in-game currency or is that only real money? Do you know?
No, get the battle pass, you have to pay for it, and that's fine. And I still wouldn't call that pay to win because it's like, I don't think that's pay to win.
It doesn't feel like pay to win to me.
But what is... Okay, so wait, hold on. Yeah, so the credits don't unlock stuff in the battle pass.
No. The credits are for the cosmetic stuff, like that you can get in the square menu or whatever.
No, you still have to play the game. So the idea is if you play the game, the more you play the game, the more medals you get. That unlocks the stuff. And that is play the game to win, because you're playing the game. Not paying the game.
That's what I feel like, and I feel like that to me feels different than something like equivalent, like in the free to play category, where you're just like dumping a bunch of money and then all of a sudden you're a superhero. That is not the case in Helldivers.
No. And right now, I want the stun grenade, and I want the thing that you talked about, the enemy encounter thing. Stuff. I just have to play the game more, and I'll grind a bit, and I'll get those medals, and I'll unlock it. So, that's what. That's fine.
I don't buy into that one. I think people are kind of. are taking the wrong tack on that. This doesn't feel like pay to win to me.
And I'm going to bring this one up because there's no way that we shouldn't, because it's, I mean, you might not know, but it's all over the internet. And
What's that?
We love Helldivers, and we're like the Hellcast, so we got it. I just going to bring it up really quickly, and we can cut it if we want, but I don't even know what I want to say about it.
Okay.
But I have to bring it up because it's
I don't even know what you're going to say.
Okay. So, yeah, I could get your opinion because you just asked for my opinion. So
That's what we do on the show.
One of the biggest debates is right now, like on the forums and all that kind of stuff, for Helldivers is some people wanted to see representation in the game, real world representation, LGBTQ, and also like just countries and racial stuff, and like they just wanted to see themselves like represented in the game. And Helldivers were like, this is an alternate universe. We're not doing real world stuff. And it's an interesting topic because like I like the idea of escapism and going to a different place. And I think that's what they're saying too. They're like, listen, we're not going to do anything to do with like even the US flag and stuff like that. We're not going to, we're joking on all this stuff and we're having our own take on it. And this is another universe. So if you want to like, you know, create groups outside of the game and do whatever you want, you know, but in the game, they just made a hard stance. They're like, we're not going to really embrace the real world much. And I just wondered your thoughts on that. Because I
mean, I haven't heard anything about this. So this is the first I'm hearing about it.
It's everywhere right now.
I mean, just on a gut level reaction, like if you had to ask me right now without me knowing about it or thinking about it, which is actually what's happening, I think that's fine because number one, they have both male and female voices and body types, but they're
and
all
voices. Yeah.
Voices and body types, male sounding and female sounding. I don't know if there are some like in the middle. I don't think I've heard all the voices maybe, but so there's those options, but everybody's like in armor from head to toe. Like you can't really, even if you're a male or a female character, when you're in the field, it's really hard to tell who is who because you're just Helldivers. You're just like this disposable resource sent in from Super Earth, right?
Yeah.
And there's no countries, there's no factions. I think it's just like Earth, Super Earth as a group versus all the rest of the universe. I don't think that there is a need for the rainbow flag or an American flag or anything because you're all just like one big homogenous group.
Exactly.
Like Super Earthers, right?
Yeah.
Also I just to be kind of like, I hate to play the side of it, but I have to feel like if someone did have an LGBTQ flag, which, you know, I'm fine with, I am super pro LGBTQ, but I would have to imagine if somebody did that, they would find themselves being killed a lot more often by the assholes who play this game. And I wonder if like having, or even just like Americans, maybe like Europeans would target Americans or vice versa.
Right.
You're separating yourselves from the group, but the whole concept of the entire game is you're all Helldivers, you're all the same, you're all together. And that's what separates you. You're separate from the bugs. You're separate from the robots. You do not have factions within each other. That goes against the idea of the managed democracy and about you guys being one planet-wide, you know, fascist government, right?
Yeah, that's my thoughts too.
Yeah.
Because we're definitely pro everything at the same time. Yeah, a game can just be a game, and also that kind of inclusiveness and like togetherness that's happened naturally and organically in the game is cool to see, you know, like we didn't mention it, but like that hug emoji.
Yeah.
If you hug another person when an explosion's going off, it protects them. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Is that true?
Yeah. It's like a little secret. Like,
oh, that's funny.
You can like protect each other by hugging each other. How fucking cool.
How cool is that? How
it's
cool
fucking
is that?
cool.
Yeah. You are already as fucking inclusive as it gets because you are all like the same disposable person. Like there's nothing to differentiate you. And just as a quick side note, I could be wrong on this, and maybe somebody listening can fact check me, but I seem to recall in the original Helldivers, there's like, okay, so there's lore notes you can find in Helldivers 2, which I fucking hate actually, because I end up trying to grab a sample or a piece of ammunition and I end up reading the fucking lore note and they don't do anything for you in the game. Get rid of the fucking lore notes. I hate them. Read them back on your ship, not in the field. But anyway, in the first Helldivers, there were little bits of lore that would pop up. There was a feed and there were some notes. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there were mentions of like queer relationships in some of those notes where it's like, oh, Susan 74263, her wedding to Beth 94292 has been approved or something like that, right? So like there were tiny little bits of it there, which kind of suggested a slightly more egalitarian society. But super to the side. You could easily miss it. It didn't matter. And I think the ultimate message there is like, we don't care if you're queer or black or white or whatever. You're a fucking Helldiver, so get out there and kill some fucking bugs, right? And I think that's like the ultimate cohesion. But again, it's in a very fascist flavor and it's a very military flavor. I without, I think it's fine the way it is. I don't think I need more representation. But that's just me. And I would be curious to hear the developers' further thoughts on it.
Well, there you go. I just brought it up because we have to. We know we talk about everything Helldivers.
Yes.
I have a couple more things that I'll do for this show, and then I'll save the rest for later. Do you have?
Just one more thing.
You have one more thing?
One thing, yeah.
You go ahead, and then I'll do one.
Okay, just a quick mention that Venba, the really amazing short visual novel about, I think it's a Middle Eastern family. I can't remember. Were they from India?
I think it was Indian.
Gosh.
Yeah,
it might be Indian. I can't recall.
Indian,
I apologize, folks. I think it was Indian, but I could be wrong. Middle Eastern family, or at least an East
I'm looking
Asian
it up.
family.
I'm looking it up.
Look it up because I feel like I'm making a big mistake here, and I don't want to offend anybody. I apologize. This family who moves to Canada, and they raise a son, and it's a family story. Oh God, I cried. My wife cried. It's just an amazing story. We love Venba so much. They just dropped a free DLC, which is an in-game real-life recipe book for all of the fucking amazing ass-looking food they make in that story.
Wow, cool.
So you can actually, oh my God, like you can actually make the real food. And I'm like, yes. I'm going to go back. Because some of that food looks so fucking good in that goddamn game. And also they included a music player because the music in that game was fucking awesome as well. So they have all the original music, which was great. I would love to have that playing in the background of my fucking house. Plus, I believe 4 brand new tracks. And if they're as good as the first tracks, then those are fucking amazing tracks as well. So you can listen to the music while you actually follow the real world recipes after you beat this amazing fucking game, which everybody should play.
So cool. It's Indian woman who moves to Toronto.
Okay, I thought it was India, but I wasn't sure. Okay, all right.
And I want all those dishes now. And
oh my God, playing that game made me so fucking hungry, dude. Oh Jesus,
I'm hungry just thinking about it.
Yes. All right, that's all I got. What do you got left?
A couple things. My buddy is working on this game. Well, he already worked on the game called Slayaway Camp 2. We talked about Slayaway Camp, I think, back in the day. It's a weird puzzle game. It was exclusive to Netflix for a while, and so it just got added as you can wishlist it on Steam.
Oh, I did play Slayaway Camp. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you played it.
Yeah, I played it. Yeah.
So the second one is finally coming out on Steam, so go wishlist it. If you like a weird, horror, funny puzzle game, you'll like this. And
oh, man.
It's really cool, and the music's amazing, and my buddy worked on parts of it. So
you just reminded me of something because... What? I had a PC crash. Oh, this is like a total yeah, please go play Slayaway Camp 2.
Slayaway Camp 2.
Even the first one is pretty fun too.
Yeah,
the first one's pretty good
too. But the second one's finally available on wishlist on Steam.
Yes. So side note, I'm on my new PC. We talked about this a while ago, and it comes with Windows 11 by default, which sucks. Fucking hate Windows 11 so bad. It automatically updates. I think the logic is that they want to force you to upload all your stuff to the cloud, because they're going to force you to lose stuff if you don't auto upload to the cloud. So I didn't upload to the cloud because I don't need Microsoft having all my fucking documents. But whatever, I should just get like a Linux box and just detach it from the internet or something. But anyway, I lost a bunch of work and I lost this thing that I was going to mention, but you just reminded me. So we sometimes talk about adult-focused games, adult-oriented, XXX games or things that are of that nature. And we don't talk about it often, but every once in a while. But there is a game coming out called Hard Coded. Now, this is pretty queer-friendly. It's pretty trans-friendly. I've been following the developers for a while. They've been working on this game for like a long time, and it seems like they're really putting a lot of hard work and effort into it. They just finally got it approved to be listed on Steam. I know they were trying to get that done for a while, and they are trying to get people to wishlist it so they can boost their views and kind of get that whole mojo going. So this is probably not a game for everybody. It appears to be. I haven't played it or anything. I know of it, and I've been following developers. But very trans-focused, very queer-focused, adult XXX game. The art is actually amazing, and it looks like a pretty fun experience if you play those things. I just wanted to give it a quick shout-out. So check it out on Steam. It's called Hard Coded. Give it a wish list if you like, and try to get these people boosted on the various lists and algorithms if you are into that sort of thing. So just heads up that it exists, and if that's your flavor, then go ahead and support that.
Yeah, we should definitely do like a wish list section, I think. You know
what
I mean? Like, I mean, a lot of other channels do that, but like, there's so many games that I want to give. We both want to give like, kudos to and to go check out instead of just saying check it out. Well, real quick, while we're in that thing, I played a game on stream this week for my friend's company,
Okay.
Science Game Center, which is an awesome website, by the way, for scientists and teachers. It's called sciencegamecenter.org. And the game on there, it's so cool. And I'm going to keep playing it, but it's called Headlines and Highwater. I don't think you've heard of it. It came out a little while ago.
I don't think so. It doesn't sound familiar.
It's like a narrative-based game, graphics, and you kind of make choices. You play as a journalist who's in a small town, and she's trying to make a name for herself. And so you get to choose what you do when you cover a story. So like you go, do I take a picture? Do I go talk to the townspeople? The first story is like a flood's happening, so you're trying to figure out where is the story. And whoever you talk to, you get a quote. And at the end of the kind of time allotment, you make a news story. And I was like, oh my goodness, I've never played a game like this where you're actually a journalist. And it's so relaxing and it's raining.
Sounds kind of cool.
It's so cool. Anyways, just thought I'd mention it real quick because I just remember we played it. Headlines and Highwater, check that out. It's on all the places.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah. And then lastly, oh geez, I am playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I guess I won't talk about it, but
I mean, you just did.
yeah, I'll
You might
only
as well.
say this. I'll say one sentence. I think I'm done for now.
Okay, so you're going to put it on pause?
Yeah, it's that perfect pause game because
How far did you get?
it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? And the number one problem, which I told you off podcast, is it's just making me do 8 million other things besides the main story. Like go do a chocobo race. Go do this, an arcade game where you like a fighting game. And also the story, at some point, there's so many real dramas in this game. And they're like, okay, well, I'm going to go rest because I'm having these crazy visions of Sephiroth and stuff. So I'm Cloud and I go rest in the hotel. When I get to the hotel, it's Luigi's mansion.
It's haunted?
Yeah, it's like literally a haunted hotel with ghosts in it. And it's like a whole mini game type world where I'm like in a Luigi's mansion. I'm like, stop it. Just let me play the freaking Final Fantasy 7 game.
So too much stuff distracting you from the main drama.
I'm over it. So we'll come back to it someday.
That's fair.
And then in closing, Stellar Blade. This is another big story. Stellar Blade, a game I've talked about before it was cool. I've been wanting this game for a very long time. It's coming out finally very soon. I think it's April, I want to say.
God, I have literally no recollection of this game.
It's just the third-person action, go kind of a little bit of Nier Automata and vibes, and also Devil May Cry, and also just like cool-ass woman destroying things. And it went on the internet all over the place because people were like, oh, it's a little revealing what she's wearing, whatever. Anyway, she's a sexy lady kicking ass. What's Bayonetta, right? Okay.
Okay.
And I'm all in. I've been all in for a long time. But just recently, about a week ago, the demo dropped and then immediately got taken down. And what's interesting is people downloaded the demo and PlayStation revoked the license.
Really?
An old school PT kind of thing.
Wow. Interesting.
So it just made the rounds in the news because they were like, oh, yeah, that's how quickly you can get rid of your game, or how a publisher slash console can get rid of your game.
They just push the unpublish button, right?
They unpublished it. Even though you downloaded the actual files, you couldn't play it anymore.
Wow.
So I think that they weren't really supposed to deliver it yet. Like it was an accident,
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, no, we're going to do it like a week before it comes out or something. So yeah, that's just something that happened.
Interesting. Okay.
All
Anything
right.
else?
No, let's get to the show. Jeez.
All right. So that was a major heaping helping of housekeeping. We are about to get to the main portion of the show. But before we do that, just a quick reminder, you can help support this very podcast by going to patreon.com/the So Video Games Podcast. Every little bit helps with the ever increasing cost of hosting, upgrading equipment, and if we need to pick up any games for the show, if we're not able to get codes. And anyone who chips in at the $5 or £5 level will be personally invited by me to join our members-only Discord, which is full of cool and beautiful people. However, whether you contribute or not, we will never paywall any content. We just want you to help out if you wish to or if you can. If you can't, you will not be cut off of anything. You'll still get the same great show free of charge every week because we love you. All right, let's wrap this section up and move on to the main portion of the show.
Okay, so before we keep going, I just got to mention that I'm eating pecans, so I'm sorry
Okay.
because I'm hungry. We're doing this in the middle of the day, you know.
Yeah, we are.
But then I was like, hey, I should give these a shout out as well because we're shouting out everything today.
The nuts you're eating?
Yeah, because, you know, we mentioned games. We mentioned, you know, trying to promote things. So anyways, check this out. I didn't know that they sold them online, but it's called candied pecans. Is it pecans or pecans?
I say pecans, but I've heard both
Okay.
ways.
So it's the brown pecan or brown pecan is the name of the food, pecan. It's a mother and daughter run. I just found that out. The tagline's sweet with a little bit of heat. So it's sweet like candied pecans, but like with the cayenne.
Oh, that's good. I love candied nuts. Those are really delicious.
It's so good because it does have that heat in it. And you can order them online. So like they're local here to the Seattle area.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah, so they're in PCC and Tacoma Boys and a bunch of different markets. But you can order them online. So anybody listening to the podcast, if you want a spicy, sweet pecan, the best one I've ever had in my life, and I'm not getting paid to say that, check them out. It's thebrownpecan.com.
Well, I guess the question is, how many have you had in your life?
Oh, I've had a lot of nuts. Yeah.
But if you said this is the best, so like, are
Walnuts,
you saying, are you
pecans.
a connoisseur of candied pecans? Because
I kind of am.
Okay, so I guess that's a good statement then.
Yeah, I think anything that's a nut that I can eat because it's good for your like digestion and fiber and stuff. I eat so many different kinds, and I literally look for the ones that are sweetened because I got problems. I have to have sugar.
Sure. All right, well, Carlos, nut connoisseur. He is just
Nut
waiting.
connoisseur, the brown pecan or brown pecan. Also, before we go, I know we'll do the show, but I looked at Helldivers, and I forgot to mention this.
Our poor audience, they're like, get the fuck off of Helldivers, you assholes.
I bet you they're not because they're probably playing it.
Maybe.
In the galactic map, if you mouse over or you controller over Super Earth, for the longest time, for about the last week, about 1,500 or 1,600 people are on that planet, it shows.
Yes.
So I think I know what that is. Do you think you know what that is?
I don't know what it is. I mean, in the previous Helldivers, you were able to go to Super Earth before, and they had training facilities there that they would give you these incredibly hard scenarios. They were like siege kind of missions. So that was in the first game. I don't know if that's what it is now, but I did hear people in the Discord, the Helldivers Discord, which I joined a while ago. It is, oh my God, those messages move at light speed, dude. You can't even follow them. But I have seen some people say that they have been randomly recalled to Super Earth. They didn't say what happened there, but they're like, oh yeah, today I got called back to Super Earth and I did this thing. And so I don't know if that's true or if that's a rumor, but I have seen some people mention it, but I have not been there and you cannot go there willingly.
Hey, that can't be true because there would be screenshots that leaked of it.
You would think so.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, we already have like people are digging through the files to find stuff that's coming in the future. So I don't think that's true, especially with 1,800 people. There's no way there's not a leak.
I don't know. Just
what
I've
think,
heard.
I think because again, having been on a team that's made a game like this, they're doing testing right now. So because yes, of course they're going to go to Super Earth. We're all going to get to go there because it was in the first game. I think they're just having lots of testers. And that's it shows up because it's a live map.
Yeah.
And you can't go there because it's a closed playtest.
Who knows? Could
That's
be.
got to be it. I'm
Be.
telling
I
you,
don't
you
know.
heard it here first from someone who's worked at a dev like this. It's a playtest. And that's exciting because that means they're like it's going to open up pretty soon probably.
We shall
Okay,
see.
let's
We
talk
shall
about the show. Sorry.
Let's talk about actual games. So you're done with Final Fantasy VII. We were going to lead off with that, but you feel like you've got your piece out? You said what you wanted to say about it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Come
we're
on.
going to skip that.
Come
then.
on,
Okay.
game.
Let me instead kick it off then, and we'll kind of do this.
Please.
Let me start.
I'm going to eat some pecans.
Eat some pecans, those salty nuts.
Oh, it's so good.
So a game called Stolen Realm. I'm just full disclosure, this one was a huge disappointment for me, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. It is a turn-based tactics game, and gosh, if you're a turn-based tactics fan, wow, there's so many to choose from right now. I'm like drowning in tactics, and a lot of them are very, very good. Unfortunately, this one is not, which makes me a little bit sad. I like the visual style of it. It's really super blocky, like low polygon. Like every character looks like they're made of like 50 polygons or something, but in a cool way. I think the graphics are very appealing and nice. I like the graphics, and that's what got me in. It was supposed to be some kind of just, turn-based tactics kind of thing, and I checked them almost all out. as many as I can play, which is many these days. But basically, it feels like something that's not finished. It feels almost like a tool set in a way. You start the game and there's very little production put into like the world or about like the intro screen or like none of the little niceties that you would expect from like a fully finished game. It's just like you start the game, you start creating a character and you're not really sure what this all means. A lot of numbers and stats. And so you throw something together and it's weird because you choose a class and there's like a knight in armor, there's an archer, there's a wizard. You choose whatever, but then when you start the game, you're just like a random peasant or something. And I'm like, what happened? Why am I not a knight? What's going on? I don't understand. So then you start playing and it just drops you into this map. Like okay. So to be fair, there's a mode where you can play like, I guess, roguelike or something, which is just the game and the rules they've created for it. But then there's also a campaign. So I try the campaign and it's just like basically a blank map made of like hexes. And then your random polygon guys are on top of it. And you just kind of like walk, and then all of a sudden you choose to do an encounter, enemies drop down, and then you just like basically go through this turn-based tactics stuff. Really, really super basic. Like none of it feels flashy or special. It just feels like, it almost feels like the whole thing's like a placeholder. Like, hey, this is our alpha. This is, our proof of concept, and we're going to put in some graphics and we're going to put in some music. And it just feels like, why is this here? Like, what am I even doing? And it just felt like the tutorials were terrible. The campaign was just like a bunch of voiceovers over this really super, super basic map. Like there was no characterization, no drama to it. I was not interested in any way in like what this quote unquote story was. It just feels like something that is 100% not ready for prime time. It feels like this is like 2 years away from being done, but here it is now. And I don't understand what it's doing here or why anyone in the world would choose this game when we have so many other top shelf turn-based tactics to choose from right now. I mean, it's like you're at like a seafood buffet a mile long and someone is like, hey, would you like this Ritz cracker? And I'm like, no, I sure fucking wouldn't.
Can we switch that to anything else besides seafood, though? Really?
It could be a prime rib buffet. Well, I like seafood, so that's appealing to me.
Okay,
it could be a fajita bar. It could be taco bar.
Okay.
It could be pizza bar. Create your own pizza. Anything. Cheesecake bar. Whatever you want. Anything that's delicious. It could be a mile-long buffet. And this dude is like, or these people or whoever is like, would you like this dry ass Ritz cracker? And it's actually the low salt version without even all the salt on it. Would you like this? And I'm like, no, I don't want this. So I don't know what happened here. I don't know why this game is here. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be doing or what it thinks it's doing, but it feels like a basic framework that a game is eventually going to go on top of, and it is 100% not ready. Hard fail. I don't know why this is here.
All right. Don't check it out for now.
Don't check it out. That was very disappointing. I do like the graphics, though. The graphics with the low poly look, that worked for me, but nothing else worked for me. So there we go. Carlos, you surprised me this morning with Knights of Braveland, and it took me a moment, but actually we have played Braveland games before. It's kind of a series or an IP, I guess. Yeah, it kind of is. It is. But I don't meet a lot of people who know about it, but you and I have covered at least one or two of these games before, and I think we generally like them, don't we?
We do, and I think it's big on mobile as well, right?
Yeah, it seems very mobile friendly, I believe.
Yeah, it feels like that. I mean, all of their games are like this kind of action-y game where you go left to right and you kill things, a la Castle Crashers kind of vibe. But in that mobile setting where it's like, do stages at a time.
Well, some of the Braveland games are actually turn-based tactics as well. Those are the ones that I really like. There's, I think, 3 that are turn-based tactics.
Wait, I'm going to open up the developer here. It's Tortuga Team is the name of them.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. It does.
So the original Braveland, they've been doing it for a while, 2014.
Okay,
you're right. So it started as tactics.
Yeah, I remember.
Where you had overworld map, and then each stage would be these little kind of cartoony characters fighting enemies, fighting monsters, wolves.
Little micro tactics.
Micro tactics, and then it moved to action at some point. I'm trying to see where it moved to action. All the way up to. Oh wait, so this is the first one that is true action then.
Okay.
I thought they had done it before.
Turn-based, but this sounds new.
Yeah, so they have had like pirate heroes. They had sci-fi tactics, but again, we're all tactics. You're right. By the way, I didn't know Spaceland. They made Spaceland.
Spaceland is excellent, dude.
Oh, you played it?
Spaceland is so fucking... In fact, that's one of the ones that I keep meaning to come back to on the Switch. I got really far in that, and then I got distracted with like review games. But Spaceland is fucking really good.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
excellent.
Okay. So everything that they've done, we like, I think. And this then, I didn't know that until just now, is the first one where there is a map, the same kind of map where there's stages and you go to different maps or different stages in the map. And you kind of choose your own adventure, like meaning go left or right. You know, you want to go to this one that might be a chest, this one might be a trap, and this one might be fighting monsters. So that kind of stuff is still the same, but then the difference is it is action. So it's like get to the stage, there's bandits, you know, there's wolves, whatever it is to fight, and you're doing that in real time. So, you know, left to right kind of, you know, 2D style fighting. And the other difference is there's like a hub world. So you go back to the hub and you kind of upgrade stuff. So there's an upgrade tree, and I don't know how much upgrade stuff was in the original tactic ones, but like you're definitely like focusing on health or focusing on magic or whatever it is you want to focus on.
Oh, there was definitely upgrades, like different stats and also items, equipment, and stuff like that. Your basic, you know, all your basic stuff. Yeah,
I think it's like remixing a lot of what they've done, but then adding that kind of real time combat. The thing that you / maybe some people might not like, but I think is pretty like seamlessly done, is that there is a procedurally AI / generated thing, which is the choose your own adventure story part. So when you're going through this map, you have
this is on PC, PS5. What are you doing?
I'm playing on PC on Steam.
PC, okay.
I don't think it's on console yet.
I was gonna say, all right.
And when you go to these different story beats, you know, you're looking at a whole map. You pick where you want to go, left or right, right? You go to a little spot and left, and it opens up. It's a chest or something. But whatever it is, lots of times it's tied to a little story beat. So it's like, hey, you stumble on a treasure cave. What do you want to do? So then it's like choices. But some of that stuff I think is procedurally generated / AI generated.
No.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem to matter because all of it's simple enough to be like, take some coins. Oh, you failed it and this happened. You know, like I went to the bottom of there was a basement and the woman was yelling at me up top saying, "Hey, my husband's being terrible and he's drunk with his friends. Go down there and like make him stop." Like that seems kind of weird. That seems kind of AI maybe made, you know, I don't know. Or did they like write that as a thing? But then when I went down there, I had to fight him, you know. And so all it feels a little weird. And I knew you'd say that. But it doesn't distract from the fact that it's super fun to play. Like it's still a fun ass time.
I mean, I believe that these people, this team can deliver good gameplay. You know, as we just said, I think we're fans of basically every game they've made. But AI is not the way to go, not for something like this, especially not for story generated. I'm not a believer. I will never be a believer. So
I am.
You are, and
I'm a believer. I don't want to say that because now I'm looking it over and I don't see where the word AI is in there. So let's just say maybe procedurally generated because that is also something similar where it's like.
Similar, yeah, similar.
They probably created a ton of scenarios and like, you know, they're going to kind of pop up wherever.
Sure.
But that said, I played a crap ton of this game. There's also 4-player local co-op, and there's like, you know, co-op in this game.
Okay.
So again, that kind of Castle Crashers vibe happens where you're hitting blah blah blah, and you get your weapons. You also like not just upgrade your weapons, but you find weapons. There's another game that's like this. Cult of the Lamb is kind of like this, where you do those runs.
Oh
You know how you like find a shop and you can. Buy something there from the shop that you use for the rest of the time. Sure. And then you're like buying health potions to kind of, you know, get yourself ready for a boss. And then there's bosses. And the bosses are pretty funny. I fought somebody riding a huge chicken and that was fun. And yeah, it just really feels like they call it an endless adventure, but mixing that kind of procedural thing and the fact that you don't know what you're going to get in each shop, it just makes it that kind of addictive. You want to keep playing this game.
Right.
Especially because they have those core mechanics down and they just know how to make things fun. Like these developers make a fun game. So I like it. I don't mind whatever kind of procedural things happening. And it's almost similar to, not to go back to Helldivers.
Oh, Lord.
But, you know, you jump in, jump out kind of thing, right? Like I'll play this tonight for 3 missions or something, you know, and then just put it down. And you're not worried about the story and stuff like that. So I think it's great. And I forgot to mention it. I've been playing it for about a month. And I just remember that.
Oh wow, I didn't realize you've been playing for so
Yeah,
long.
yeah. And I'm upgraded a ton of stuff, and I just go to it sometimes and beat some stuff and then leave. So hack and slash adventure mixed with things, that you might have liked from the Braveland series. There you go.
There we go. Just to head this off, we're not going to go down this particular rabbit hole right now, but I can already hear some people in the audience going, "But Brad, you love roguelikes. You like procedural generation sometimes, and roguelikes do that." Okay, we can discuss that in a future episode, but I think there's a difference between roguelike structure, procedural generation, and AI. I see all of those three as different things. I don't think they are the same thing. So we can that's like a whole show right there. We can talk about that later. But just to be clear, and if anybody wants to email me or hit me up in the Discord or whatever, that's fine. We can talk about that. But I don't see those three things as being the same. So just to clarify briefly.
Well, and the type of game, like roguelike.
It really depends on what the game is. Yeah.
And to be clear, on the detail page, there's no AI. It's procedurally generated. So it's like they have templates, and that's why it makes sense. Like, the noisy neighbors, the gremlins, whatever it is, and then they just put them in different places. Right. And then your outcome decides different things. So it's just kind of throwing a bunch of things in a basket.
Right, shake it up.
And shake it up. Yeah. And it just seems fun. Like, I'll do that all day.
Yeah. Although, interestingly, I don't think there's any rule or anything that says if people do use true AI in the sense that we mean it these days, I don't think they have to disclose that anywhere, do they? I think it's good PR because I think people have feelings about it like I do and you do. But I don't think there's any rule that says you have to disclose that.
You do on Steam. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Just graphics or like actual design?
I don't know, but they made it. It's been coming up in a bunch of different discussions.
Okay.
On Steam, if you make a Steam listing and you use AI in any capacity, you're supposed to put it down.
I heard that for graphics. I didn't realize it applied to anything. That's interesting.
Yeah. And by the way, we're on this for a minute, though. The game that I'm making, which I don't know when we're talking about it, maybe at the end of the show.
Whenever you wish.
We could just talk about it now, I guess.
Let's talk about it now.
I'm using AI because I generated some backgrounds with AI. So, Brad, you're going to have to boycott the game.
I feel dirty now. You tricked me.
By the way, I'm not on Steam. I'm on itch.io.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about it because people don't know what we're talking about. So.
Yeah, but there is no develop. You don't have to divulge what you've used AI on itch.io.
Filthy.
But I will. I mean, because I don't give a shit. Like, I'll tell you exactly what I did. I used Canva, and I wanted some backgrounds, so I made it in Canva.
So what are we talking about, folks? Let's talk about what we're talking about. So Carlos,
really quickly, I'm making a game.
He's making a game. He sent me the URL to go, and I played it immediately. And I will say, to your credit, all I had to do was enter the URL, and the whole thing popped up, and I could start playing immediately. So that was super seamless, which I appreciated. That was really good.
Yeah,
and I played it, and it's called. Do you want to say what it's called?
Yes, it's Carlos in Liminal Spaces. I know it's me. It's a little on the nose. I was originally just wanted to make it something like Mario, like a platformer game like Mario. And obviously I was not going to use Mario. And then I was like, what are the names that are kind of like that? I'm like, well, I'm kind of Hispanic-y name.
Carlos sounds like Mario. It was very close.
And then on top of that, what is the game? The game is a platformer in liminal spaces. So I was like, actually, Carlos, wants to go to liminal spaces in real life. Like, I want to be in those environments. You said that in
a really funny way.
What?
It sounded like, Carlos, go to liminal space.
To go to liminal spaces. That's the marketing for the game. But no, like, I seriously want to be in those spaces. And I was like, well, that's what I'm doing then. I'll just make me in them. So it's kind of selfish, I guess, in that way. But yeah, it's a platformer where, and this is the spoiler, that it looks like a video game in the beginning. And why I used AI is because I just wanted some quick, like, pixelated video gamey backgrounds. And so Canva / via its AI tool just made those for me. And I picked them. By the way, Brad, after I picked the AI generated things, I did edit them, right? So I made them, I did stuff to them.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. This is, okay, total side note, tangent on your tangent, right? About AI. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to say anything, but I believe that I just received my first AI boosted review at Game Critics last night.
AI boosted review. Oh,
it made
someone
me
used it.
So angry. Yes. I'm not going to say who it was.
It was me.
I don't even have proof. I just have a very gut level suspicion. But as the editor, I'm a fucking editor. Okay. Like, I read words all the time, every day. I got a review from one of my writers, and their style, out of the blue, seemed way different than what they had been giving me. And I'm like, wait a minute, Spidey sense tingling. So I'm not going to say what game it was, but I'm like, this feels sus to me. So I went to, my wife has a ChatGPT account because her work uses ChatGPT because they're, whatever. I'm not going to get into it because it makes me mad. Anyway, point being, she had access to ChatGPT. So I'm like, hey, would you mind generating a review? Just say, make me a review of XYZ game and then send it to me. So she did. She sent it to me, and like, dude, so many sections were almost word for word the same. And so I don't know that there's a tool that can like detect AI generated stuff. I don't think that there is. But like, as I was going through this, I'm like, okay, so clearly my money is on somebody generated this. They moved a few paragraphs around. They changed a few words, and they tried to submit it to me like they had written it. And I was furious.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I was so mad. I actually sent out an email to the whole team, and I'm like, listen, I'm not going to point a finger, but you know who you are. So fucking don't do it again.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. So that kind of stuff. And I bring that up because I do not feel as though, at least in the editing world, like, getting ChatGPT to generate something and then changing a few words, that's not a review. You didn't write that. That's nothing, dude. So, I mean, you kind of got me on this tangent because you said you got something and edited it, which is not the same thing, but kind of that's what triggered the memory for me.
And the art is different, I think, because, you're talking about like words and you're trying to like convey an
it's
idea.
not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Art is artistic in the fact that like you're taking something and just making a visual thing that you want to show the world. I think they're different, but yeah. And what you're talking about with ChatGPT is it's a large language model. So if they're using the same one, which is ChatGPT, then there is going to be like consistencies when you ask for output.
Yeah, there were.
So that's why that's the way to detect, really. But I do have thoughts on that, which, at some point we'll come up with it. I think it's going to be ubiquitous. So I think that not wanting it is a fool's errand.
Oh, you're making me so fucking angry right now.
I know.
You're making me so angry. No,
okay.
I disagree. Fully.
That's why we agree to disagree on the show.
I disagree fully. If you can't write, don't fucking write.
No. Okay. No, wait. Can I agree with you though?
I mean, sure.
You should write first. You should write first. I'm just saying that the fool's errand part, and not calling you a fool.
No, I get what you're saying.
The world is going to have to work with it. Like if you just think, just like smartphones, like it's not going to go. It's going to go away.
Sure.
That's not happening. So that's all I'm saying.
I mean, to me, it's like, since we're on this, it's like if you like are a person who like is a terrible writer, for whatever reason, I don't know, you went to the public school system and they failed you, or like you have. Whatever, you're just not a writer, and your spirit is not a writer. That's fine. Use your ChatGPT to generate a professional business email if you struggle to do that. That's fine. But like, don't get in fucking writing circles and don't say you're a writer and then use this bullshit and say that you're writing, because you're fucking not writing. It's kind of the same thing with the art, where it's like, you're not a fucking artist if you use these AI artist things. It's like, you can use this for whatever you're doing with it, but don't you dare try to say that you did this art or that you are somehow an artist, because you're absolutely fucking not.
It's a bigger discussion we'll get into. But I made a video game, though. So we'll go back to that for now.
All right. You made a video game. Let's go. Let's get off the AI thing for now.
But I agree and disagree with some of what you just said. So I think we do see eye to eye in a lot of it.
I'm right. Yes, I am.
I will say that, so for the first 3 levels, which, by the way, this game is in super, super early access. We always talk about that. So, like, I just wanted to put it out to have people, like, mess with it and give me feedback as I'm making it. Sure.
And I did. I gave you feedback.
And you did. And when it's really, really ready, like, I might charge $1 and it might be complete. And I might, like what we always talk about in this podcast, I might be like, this is the version. And like, this is what I think is what I was trying to say. So those first few, screenshots might even change. But the idea is it's a suburban kind of like environment. And you're kind of just walking around like platformer Mario type person. And you're going to like collect like Starbucks, like coffee cups and stuff and money. And it's going to feel like a job. It's just going to feel like a day-to-day grind kind of a thing.
Okay.
And you're going to think it's a video game. And then you go into a house, your first door you go into, that brings you into actual liminal spaces. So if you Google like liminal spaces, a lot of the images you'll see will probably be in my game. Like I'm, again, back to that kind of editing. I'm grabbing things that are kind of thematic and people know and kind of iconic liminal spaces, and then I'm editing them a bit. So basically I'm making everything pixelized and a VHS effect and stuff like that, and just kind of making it my own.
Right.
So, yeah, that's the idea, is you go through these worlds, and similar to there's a game called Pools and a game called Dream Core and a lot of pool room games coming out soon. Like, it's more of an experience. So you just go and kind of like see what you see, but you're just doing it from a platformer perspective.
Right.
So I feel
2D.
like a lot of games are 3D, for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's generally what it is. It's called Carlos in Liminal Spaces. You can go look at it on Itch.io right now. A very early version. And it just, like we always talk about in the show, I put it in the title, early access. So there's no, it's not a finished game at all. So.
Yeah. All you got to do is Google it. It takes you right there. All you got to do is like one click and you're playing the game. It's super easy. So check it out.
All right, check it out. Anyways, let's get back to video games that are not made by me.
That are not Carlos video games. Man, this is a difficult one for me.
Oh, no, Debbie Downer.
Kind of. It's called Highwater. It's from Demagogue Studios. The same people who made, what is it, Golf Club Wasteland? Is that it? Is that the title?
Oh, I love that game.
I loved it as well. That was the first game from Demagogue Studios that you and I played, and it was on PlayStation 5 is where I think we both played it. And I loved it. It was like the amazing 2D wacky golf game where you're playing through decrepit buildings and post-apocalyptic residue of life and cities and stuff. And they've got this really cool soundtrack and this guy really chill, like DJ on the radio talking your way through what life on Mars is like and stuff. It was like a moment. Like it was like a beat. It was a vibe, and it worked really, really well. They went on to make The Cub, which I talked about on the show a couple episodes ago. Same kind of vibe. And I honestly felt like they were going back to the same well, which I think was a little bit ill-advised, where it was a 2D platformer, which had a lot of like try and die sequences, a lot of like instant deaths. Controls were not dialed in, and I felt like it didn't really work that well. But they also tried to do the radio gimmick again, which I didn't work as well for me the second time. It felt like that was a one-time thing. Highwater is the game I'm talking about now, and I'm kind of cringing a little bit because I know we've got a lot of fans that cross over with the Gaming in the Wild podcast. Our friend John runs over there. He's doing a lot of good stuff on YouTube, by the way. Check out his YouTube videos. He's been dipping in quite a bit, and he's got some really cool stuff over there, so check that out. But a lot of folks in the Gaming in the Wild Discord listen to our show, and I'm a little bit scared of
what you're about to say.
What I'm about to say. So I'm just going to apologize in advance. I love all you Gaming in the Wild folks. You're all very cool. But I got to keep it real on this show. So Highwater, I believe, was Demagogue's first game. I think so. And this is originally on mobile, and it just got ported to consoles. I'm playing it on PS5. In terms of the storyline, I believe this is the first one as well, because if memory serves, people have not gone to Mars yet. Like, people are still dealing with an ecologically ruined Earth. Flooding has happened all over the globe. And so people are talking about getting a trip together to Mars to start a new colony. When we play Golf Club Wasteland, people are already on Mars. And then in the Cub, you are playing one of the survivors on Earth after people are coming back from Mars. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the narrative order is Highwater, Golf Club Wasteland, The Cub. So this is the first game, even though we're getting it last.
Right, and they just said on Steam that this is the trilogy.
The trilogy, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So this is one before people have gone there. You play a kid who's on a raft, and he's in this flooded space. The rich people who are about to go to Mars are kind of off in the distance, and you kind of just get dropped into his life, and you kind of don't really know what's going on at first. He's kind of just like existing or whatever, and so you pilot this little rubber raft around, and you go to these small little islands, anything that's still above water. Sometimes it's a little a document to find. There's a lot of documents to find, which I find kind of boring. There's sometimes a little turn-based battle, which is weird. This is different from the game because it's turn-based tactics. And then you sometimes have people join your party. You're kind of just meandering along. They do the radio thing again, so I guess this is the first time they tried it. And it sounds like the same voice narrator, I believe it is. So you listen to this guy talking on the radio about life on Earth, like, oh, supplies are running out, and oh, watch out for that toxic water. And they're kind of just doing this narrative in the background. And then you're piloting the boat around from island to island. It's, despite the fact that it looks like you're in this kind of like ocean environment, it's pretty linear. You are led along a breadcrumb trail to go to these different islands. Some of them are required, some of them are optional, but like you're basically just kind of pushing forward. The map in the game is this really abstract map where you can't really tell what's going on. It just looks like a series of dots and lines. Looks like a subway map, almost like a subway route map, but you're in water, so those two things don't make sense with each other. And you kind of just go from island to island. you do the turn-based tactics stuff, and it just feels very clunky, really basic. As I just said a second ago, we are in like this tremendous buffet of delicious turn-based tactics options right now. Too many to even play. There's so many that are really top shelf. This one really pales by comparison. It's very slow. Everything about it is so slow. And that may seem like a strange complaint, but it runs really slow. The movement is really slow. Turn taking is really slow. Everything about it just feels like it's just trudging through molasses, which kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. But you just do this tactics, and it's just really basic stuff. It almost feels puzzly in a way, because there are some environmental objects that you were meant to interact with in order to get through these levels, where it's not just about leveling up and doing smart choices. For example, you may do just basic fighting in the first level or two, where you have like an oar, because you're a kid, you're not like a soldier or anything. So you pick up an oar, you whack a guy with an oar, he punches you, you kind of duke it out, whatever. But then you get to the next level, and then maybe there's an oil barrel that you need to throw at them, and you can't really beat them unless you throw the oil barrel. Or later on, you get a fishing pole as a weapon, and so you use the fishing pole to pull somebody off the map and into the water to kill them, because you can't beat them straight up. And so a lot of it ends up being kind of puzzly, which is actually not too bad. That was actually kind of cool. But I just didn't feel involved in the story at all. I didn't really get a good sense of connecting with these characters. I didn't really feel like I knew what I was doing in a clear sense. It was just like, go here, do this, go here, do this, but not really. I didn't feel motivated. I didn't feel engaged with it. And how slow everything was driving me up the wall. Like, it just took forever. I also feel like the boat handles like absolute garbage. You can't change the controls, and it's just like a total, just like tub driving it around the water. I was constantly like beaching myself on islands, and there's even a button to get you unstuck, because they know like it controls like ass with that boat. So I don't know. It just none of it connected with me. I hoped it would be a good experience, but it wasn't. I will say it plays better on PlayStation than it plays on mobile. I played it on my phone first to compare, and I feel like it feels awful on a phone. Like, it just does not work very well. So a controller is a way to go, but also I just didn't have fun with it. I just felt like it was very slow. It was very boring. Outside of the little puzzly aspects in combat, I didn't really find a lot to redeem it, especially in considering how many other excellent turn-based tactics games we have right now. So
yeah,
I think Golf Club Wasteland is like the height of the trilogy. That's the one that really spoke to me, and you as well, I believe. But the other two I can honestly do without, and I don't think they really add much to that experience for me. So this is a miss for me, I think.
not to make it about my game again, but I don't know if you'll like my game because it's going to be slow. Like, certain games are just experiences, So
Oh yeah.
from what I'm seeing,
I am not the customer for your
you're
game.
not that. Yeah.
No.
I think you might like mine a little more because, again, not to make it about mine, but there's going to be secrets and weird things that happen in them and kind of action-y kind of moments. But in general, it sounds like, and when I'm looking at the screenshots for this game, it's like, not Limbo or Inside, but that kind of like just go along and experience things. And they're telling a story, kind of. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. But then you're also doing turn-based. I mean, but
you're doing turn-based, yeah.
Yeah, I feel kind of torn, because I feel like if it was peppier, if the combat just like literally everything ran like twice as fast as it ran, like in a mechanical sense, that would have been fine, because you could at least get through it faster. But it didn't feel like my time was being well spent. Like, I would go to these islands and just find a book to read, and it was just like a little ironic comment on the earth or something. I'm like, this was a waste of my time. Why did I come here? Because it was just like this little bit of lore. Like, I don't care about the lore. I want to just, keep doing this other stuff. And it just didn't connect with me. Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe some people are going to yell at me and say I'm missing the point, because the point is to experience the lore in the world. And I get that, but it just didn't connect. And I just, even from a gameplay perspective, I couldn't get on board with it. So I'm disappointed. I wanted to like it more. I was hoping for another Golf Club Wasteland experience, and it just wasn't that. So
that's fine. To each his own.
I guess. And folks in the Gaming in the Wild Discord, I hope I'm still welcome. I hope I don't get locked out of the channel after saying that, because I know this game has a lot of fans over there. So anyway. All right, that was Highwater. That was a miss for me, unfortunately. Carlos, over to you for Cartel Tycoon.
Yeah, we got this code a little bit, and I played it for a bit. It's a simulation game where you're doing drug cartel stuff, and in the 80s and 90s, narco trade, inspired by the 80s and 90s. And so I thought it would be perfect, because I'm watching Narcos Mexico on Netflix, and it's an incredible series. I love it so much, and I watch it almost every night. And I was like, I love that kind of mixed media experience, as you know, where I'm playing something and I'm also watching it. This is a simulation game. I mean, you don't play many of these either, do you?
No, I don't generally go in for this style. I don't know.
I think neither of us talk about this style of game on the show much. In general, they're on PC, they're on Steam, and so when you bring it over to console, it's tricky because if it's an RTS or if it's kind of the simulation type game, it's hard to do on console. I think they do a really good job of mapping all the controller stuff to it, but it had that vibe where I was like, I should probably be playing this in Steam and on my PC because it's just a lot of menus.
Is it? Okay. I was going to ask if that.
I want to use my mouse so bad and be like, bing, 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 bing. And I was using my controller and they did a good job, but it's just not what this game was designed for. So, but what is the game? It is, like I said, based on the 80s, 90s narco trade, drug trafficking. You start in the very beginning as a character to kind of show you the ropes. And you're kind of like thrust into this world of drug trafficking and you know nothing. Your character knows nothing, just like you, the player, knows nothing. So they teach you how to do everything, and you build the roads like SimCity, right? So you're dragging, dropping. I wish I could do that with my mouse, but on the controller, it works well enough. You're dragging the roads to connect the warehouses to the airport. Then you're building up your airport. You're sending all the drugs to the airport. Then it sends it out, and there you go. You're drug trafficking. And you're building, you're watching little trucks go, and you have like the city, and in the city you have people who are in executive offices, and you can have them come and investigate and check out stuff. It's kind of self-explanatory. It's a drug cartel game, SimCity style.
SimCity with drugs is what it sounds like.
With drugs, yeah. I could have just said that instead of all the other words that didn't make any sense. It's okay. It's okay. I just really want to play it on my computer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's cross save or whatever. If my code works for that, I don't think it does.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, but I would like to just start on that, and I think I would fly. But the graphics are good. It feels relaxing. It kind of did mesh with the idea of watching Narcos and then playing it a little bit. The only difference is, and this is the only kind of con, is that I would like, it's expectation. We always say expectation in games. I would like this to also be Scarface, like third-person game, because as I watch a show like Narcos, it's about characters and it's about that empowerment fantasy, right? Like building yourself up from nothing and then becoming strong and taking over the world or whatever with drugs. So that's what this is, but it's from that sim angle, and you're not on the ground, and you're not like going and shooting up the place or whatever. So I think it's like, I wouldn't mind this with Mafia, and that type of game would be amazing to me.
Well, you're leading me into my question.
Yeah.
So I guess I just have to wonder, what is even the point of having drugs in this? It sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it just sounds like a regular economic sim. Like there's like a million of these. There's so many, they all kind of blend together. But it sounds like you could take out drugs and put in wool or put in, I don't know, bricks or soy or something, and it would still function basically the same. Is there anything about this that really focuses or hones in on the drug aspect? So you're saying there's no combat. Is there, what about this specifically makes it drugs in a good way, or that makes it noteworthy? Anything?
Yeah, no, and that's a great point to bring up because there's still firefights and explosions and cops are raiding places, and you're always worried about the control. That's kind of to the Mafia point. Like you have control over areas, and there's really good 2D art and stuff of the profile pictures of all the people involved. Mm-hmm. Like the family tree and your rival gangs and stuff like that. So all that stuff's still happening. It does feel like a layer, but every once in a while there's I'm watching the trailer again to remind myself that there's a car chase here and there, and there's the cops are raiding a place and something blows up. So there's some action in it. It's just that I'm selfishly wanting to be third person and on the ground, but that's not what this game is, Yeah,
it just sounds like just a basic sim, but with a few drug toppings put on top of this economic sundae.
Yeah, and again, there's a good vibe of it is the 80s. There's some cutscenes. There's, the idea of power and, characters and stuff like that. It's cool. It's cool. I'm gonna give it. It's like a nice 7. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like a nice 7.
All right, a nice 7. A nice
7's
7's where we're
good.
at.
You know, it's
7
like
is pretty good.
It's fun, relaxing. My main thing is I want to play it on my PC now because I feel like while they did a pretty good job with the controller, I'm still dragging and dropping a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I really would fly on my mouse.
Gotcha.
So that's the only thing I would say. I'd say play it on Steam. And I think it's a recommend for me. It's just chill time. So,
Okay, we kind of took like a hard left. I wasn't sure we were going to get there, but it does seem like it's a check it out.
It is a check it out.
It is a check
yeah,
it out.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, that
It's a
felt
check
weird,
it out.
but we got there. So.
I know. That was the weirdest review I might have ever done. But because you put drugs in office places, that's what I started with. But yeah, it's a check it out on Steam.
Okay, check it out on Steam. There we go. I'm going to talk about a very unusual one right now. This kind of came out of nowhere for me, and I didn't even know, honestly, what it was until I started playing it. It's called The Tales of Bayun, Bayun. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Bayun. I don't know anything about the developer. I'm sure, though, I am positive they're from Eastern Europe, though. I know that for a fact.
I'll look it up.
It's got that vibe. It's got that nihilistic, pessimistic, life sucks, everybody sucks in it, and everything's terrible kind of Eastern European vibe that we get so often from developers in that part of the world, which is its own flavor. You know, like it's very recognizable. You can tell when you're playing one of those. Not to say that it's good or bad. I mean, I particularly have a good time with it. I like that just fine. But you got to be ready for that type of approach. If you have not experienced those kind of games before, it can hit you in the face a little bit kind of hard. But basically, this is a 2D visual novel, playing it on the Switch right now. And it's really unusual. I suspect it's a couple of short stories that have been played out into kind of like a choose your own adventure sort of a thing. I believe Bayun is a cat, like a magical cat, a really big, fat, purple cat that shows up a little bit like the Cheshire Cat. The game starts with that cat saying, here's some stories. And then you start the first one and it's about... it seems like a folktale. It's not any folktale that I'm familiar with, and I don't know if this is fiction or if it's a real folktale.
Well, I'll tell you.
Tell me.
Based on Eastern European and Slavic fantasy.
Okay.
I think tales.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. And I am not, that's not something we're really privy to here in the West. And so, like when The Witcher came out, a lot of that stuff was brand new to us. And a lot of the Eastern European games that are making their way here now seem like very untapped territory because we are not used to them. But of course, this is someone's folklore, this is someone's history. So I get it. But it's very cool. So what happens is you start the first choice. I believe there's 2, maybe there's more coming. I don't know. But the first one is about a guy who is separated from his sister in this conflict between these 2 like demons. And so he grows up with his sister being vanished. He becomes an important guy. And then you come back to the village where you were separated from your sister and you kind of revisit these demons later on. It seems like neither one of them is good, but one of them you have a relationship with, the demons, and one of them you don't. Although I don't think that either one is a good demon. They're just like, they're both rotten, but in different ways. But how this plays out is like, number one, the art in this game is great. It's really, really nice hand-drawn art. Very stylish, very expressive. I love the art a lot. Not a lot of animation, a lot of still pictures and stuff, and they kind of reuse some assets in clever ways. But I think that's totally fine. I think the visuals are great. I really, really like the way it looks. So that's a big plus when you're talking about visual novel. So win right there. You go through the choices. There's a little bit of mouse, like you mouse over a screen, you pick a hotspot, and then usually there's some dialogue or some choices to do. Like, for example, you go to village and you click on a hut. You go inside the hut. There's like a woman. You talk to the woman and she'll give you some choices or whatever. And as you go through these choices, it seems like there are 2 resources. One is like boldness, I guess. So like when you are very aggressive with people, you get like a boldness point. And then the other one is like, I don't know, like guile or something. So like when you're being very political or you're trying to sweet talk somebody, you get like a guile point. That's not the right word. It's a different word. Cleverness or guile or something. So you have these 2 resources, and the higher those resources go, like the more you lean one way or the other, the number builds up. And then later on, choices in the game are dependent on whether you have built up enough of that resource or not. You don't spend it, but for example, you'll get to a choice where maybe there's a boss of the town and he's being really belligerent and you got to like bully him back, but you can only successfully bully him if you have like 16 aggressive points. Like if you have been aggressive 16 times in the game prior to this, then you will have enough experience to bully him back. And if you don't, then that choice is grayed out and you must choose one of the other choices. So it's really simple and straightforward, but I think it works really well. And there's not like a ton of choices. It's pretty linear, pretty on a path, but I think that's also fine because they're telling a very specific story. This is not a million path branchings. It's about the story of this guy and how he deals with these villagers, how he tries to get back with his sister, who these demons are kind of like fighting over. So it's a really, really unique kind of visual novel. I don't think I've played a lot like this. I think the Eastern European angle really works. I think the artwork is really good. I really like the straightforward basic style. So you can just jump in, read the game, and you're not lost with like too many branches, too many choices. You don't have to worry too much about like going back and restoring an old save or anything. You kind of just let it play out and just kind of go with it. I think it's very, very nice. I think it's very cool. It's a really short, quickie, light experience, but I say that in the best possible sense. I think those are all good things about it. And I actually really like it a lot. It's been kind of a surprise joy for me. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely check it out.
Check it out. Yeah, I like the art. I'm checking it out right now. And it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So Tales of Bayun, playing it on Switch. I think it's a great fit for the Switch. It's just really good stuff. And it's like one of those surprise gems where you didn't know it was coming. You didn't know what it was about, but you click it in and you're like, yeah, man, I dig this. This is good stuff.
That is super cool. Check it out. I just was thinking about Stalker when you said that.
Oh, gosh.
Because
Stalker.
they re-released all the first 3 games.
They did. All 3 of them are on PlayStation. I almost fell out of my chair when I saw them on the PSN store.
Yeah, and I know that I played them and enjoyed them and liked the weird worlds they built. I remember them being very difficult.
That's what they're known for.
Yeah, but it's almost like the Dark Souls of third or first-person
survival
game. Yeah. I might go back. I don't know.
I've never played any of them, dude, and
Really?
I'm really curious. I know, because they've always been PC.
They're working on the second one right now, obviously. And, there's a whole thing with that. But, yeah.
I'm very tempted to go back and check them out just from a historical perspective.
Maybe let's
just
do
to
it
see.
and talk about it on the show.
Maybe
You have to start with the first one, though. We'll check the order.
Oh, yeah. I would absolutely start with the first one for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay.
So that was Stalker, but actually that was the Tales of Bayun on Switch, which is definitely cool.
Check it out.
Over to you, Carlos, for Garden Life, a cozy simulator.
Yeah, and then we're going to end on the game we're both talking about, right?
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Yes, we will.
So Garden Life, Cozy Simulator, got sent a code. Thank you for that. I'm actually in the market for these kind of games when I want to just chill out and do nothing but turn off my brain and just, do some Animal Crossing kind of vibe. And so what this game is, first-person garden simulator game with some story attached. So it starts, you get their story mode and their sandbox mode, just like a lot of these games, right?
Okay.
But I pick story because I always want the story. You start the story, it starts on a downer that the caretaker of the garden died. And you're like, damn, okay. But then you get to take it over, so it's your job to take it over. You get letters from people. They give you ideas of things you should do. They're like, welcome to the garden. Here, do these things. And you kind of go to this garden, do basic stuff like pull weeds, compost them. There's the composting thing. Put down rocks, put down flowers, plant things. It's a garden game. But there's a little hut, and in the hut there's a cat, and you can pet it. Come on, that's all I need.
Pet the cat. I mean, that's like a +1 on the review scale right there.
It is immediately. And you do that, and the cat's purring. It's great. You go out and do stuff, and it's relaxing. But then there's like a little town. You go to the town and go to the shop. There's these characters. They're all really interesting and unique characters. And they, do a little dialogue with you and give you ideas. I'm early on in the story, but it's really like they give you things to do in your mailbox, and then when you finish them, you put them in this little box, and you go, here you go, I completed the task. And then it's a day-night cycle, right? So you only have a certain amount of time to do stuff, which a lot of these games do that, and then you go home for the night. That's it. I mean, that's it so far.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I love that.
It really, by the way, there could be a little bit more, and there's going to be, because the story mode is, there's narrative stuff that's happening.
Yeah, I would imagine so, yeah.
And all the characters, by the way, art's really cool. I think you'd actually like it. The art styles are different, right? The 2D kind of avatars that tell the story is one style. The game is a very high definition, first person kind of style. And I say high definition because I felt like I was moving at 60 frames. It was smooth.
Okay.
Playing on PlayStation. And so it was a really cool, relaxing experience. When you're doing kind of a game like that, you don't want any chugging. You don't want any frames dropping. So I was just flying around, planting things, and having a relaxing time. There's cool things you can put in your garden. Like I had these frogs I could put down and make it look nice or whatever. Pulling up weeds, and it is relaxing. And the story there is interesting, and the characters are cool. It's another solid sevens. We're doing sevens.
Solid
today.
sevens. That could also be the name of the podcast.
It could be. Yeah, it's a good one.
Well, yeah, it looks really cool. I like the look of it. In fact, I almost went for it, but then I found out it was first person, and then I bailed because I don't like first person games very much.
Yeah.
But the vibe looks pretty cool. I think the art, the world looks pretty cool. It all looks very, very cool and relaxing and fun. I mean, that's just a me problem. I just personally don't like first person, but it looks really fun and nice. I dig it kind of.
I dig it too. It's kind of weird that they started in a downer though. I made a mental note of that. I was like, I don't know. This is such a nice, cozy game. Do we have to start with someone dying? I guess
you could have just bought the property. You could have just I don't know, won it in lottery.
Like
something.
anything.
Literally
yeah.
anything.
They're like, meet this previous caretaker, and I'm like, oh no. They're like, that person passed away. Well,
here's his rotting corpse.
Yeah,
shovel him away and take his land.
Well, just I go to cozy games to not be sad, right? Like to be happy.
Seems like a weird way to start.
I think that's my only con. Okay, that's my only con. But I'm gonna keep playing it. It's one of those games where we don't talk about this much on the show, I don't think, but everybody must know because we play every game. There's like a handful of games that aren't. Oh, this is a good topic. Maybe bring it up in Discord. There's a handful of games that we both probably play that we go back to that aren't our pile of shame, but we keep playing. You know what I mean?
Oh sure.
Like and it does change. It cycles out. Like this month, it's gonna be cozy, a Garden Life Cozy Simulator. And, maybe Cartel Tycoon on Steam and maybe Final Fantasy VII, probably not. But there's like 3 or 4 games each month that I'm like always playing.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean it's like my number 9 game of the year or that month and my favorite thing. And I just like binge watch it, binge play it and beat it. It's like, it's just around,
Yeah, for sure.
And that's opposite of Pile of Shame where like it's around and I'm not playing it.
Right.
So I think this is a perfect one of those. Whatever that is, that's what this is.
No, that makes perfect sense. I mean, I actually just talked about that in the Discord last night where it was like, I have these games that I originally played for the show, but I didn't finish, and I keep them around because I want to finish them, but I'm only playing them in the background because we're doing like, my review responsibilities or the show titles that we have to cover. But as soon as I'm done with those, I go back to the ones that I want to finish. Like for this month, it's Classified France 44, which I'm still really enjoying and still playing, and also Rogue Trader, which is like 150 hours long, and I'm doing like little bits of that. Rogue Trader is fucking awesome. I haven't talked about it for the last couple of episodes, but I'm still playing it in the background. So yeah, definitely I get what you're saying for sure.
Yeah, that's what this game is. Anyways, I really like it. It's really cool. Check it out.
All right, we have one more game to cover, and it's kind of a big one and kind of a weird one. Outcast: A New Beginning. We talked about the demo, which dropped on PlayStation a while ago. We were both, I think I was actually more high on the demo than you were, but I think we both liked it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think we were both anticipating playing it.
Yeah. I was actually very excited because I liked the way it controlled. I liked the action. I haven't played a good open world game in a while, so I feel like I'm kind of ready for one of those. And I was digging it. I really liked the demo a lot. And then I know that we have both had experience with the former games in the series, and so we were ready to dive in. The game just came out. We did get codes from the publisher, so thank you very much to the publisher for sending those along. You want to go first? You want me to go first, Carlos? What do you think?
Well, let me give you some background. So it's based on an older game, and literally like almost, I would say word for word, but a lot of the original developers worked on this. I don't know if you know that.
I know a little bit about it, but it's kind of controversial as well. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I've heard some of the original developers worked on it. And it's, it's kind of taking that original game, which was one of the very first open world third person perspective games. I think that's true. Like ever.
It could be.
Yeah. And so, you modernize it a bit and then you put new graphics or whatever. And like we played in the demo, you and I, we liked the traversal element, which felt like more modern, more Just Cause, It has a lot of Just Cause vibes, I think, on how you traverse the landscape.
For sure, yeah.
So, I enjoyed the demo. I like the idea that it's based on this old game. And what's the controversial part?
There was
get into it?
No, I mean, I don't think it's really worth it. I think there's just like a rights battle. I know that there was like fan involvement for a while. People got burned, and I don't know all the details, but
okay, we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
But in general, it's an interesting idea, and I like open world. So I'll just quickly say that I was a little underwhelmed because, I mean, the main
Of the
character,
demo or the main game? What
the
are we
main
talking
game.
about?
Now we're into main game. So the main character is like from the '90s, like he's from the original game, which is like he doesn't have a lot of personality. He just kind of is a talking head, and he feels like average person in almost every way, like just a guy. And he has a little bit of backstory in the fact that he wants to get to his family and find his daughter and stuff. But that's like just something that's there that kind of keeps you a little bit interested. But him himself is just like, lots of times I feel like he's just saying words, which
his name is Cutter Slade, if that tells you anything.
Slade,
which is
bro.
like, oh boy, wow.
Dude. His name could have been Dude. Okay. It could have just been Dude. So like that's one thing. And it's hard, you're playing as this character for whatever, how many hours. You're like, oh, he's going to say his lines again of like, what's up? Whatever. So then the other weirdness is, and I think it's a double-edged sword. I applaud them, and I also, it's annoying, is that you're on this planet. It's very much like Avatar meets Just Cause.
Yeah, that's what it makes me think of as Avatar plus Just Cause. Perfect
And
description.
That's the box quote. And so because you're meeting all these alien creatures, they have their own language. And because they have their own language, you have to learn the language. Now, you don't have to do a ton of real learning, but it keeps track of all these words they're using. And the other 90s kind of thing and the old retro thing, these are all things that are taking me out of the experience, is that they make jokes about like, instead of God, it's Yod.
Yeah.
So, and then they'll say like, oh my Yods. I'm like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want to hear that. It just feels cringy. Like there's a lot of cringe that I didn't expect or maybe I didn't experience in the demo. And it's a ton of dialogue because you're meeting tons of characters. I'm going long, but I'll just say that in general, the languagey thing, the Avatar alien thing, and the Cutter Slade thing, those things are a lot of this game. So I enjoy the traversal. I actually enjoy the combat. I like the dodge. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like there's a nice swift dodge. You'll talk about this more, but like there's this really cool jetpack. There's some fun combat to be had. A lot of sliders, by the way, and I kind of made the game a little bit easy. But in general, there's a ton of talking and a ton of avatars, and a ton of languages. So there's my problem. What are your thoughts on that?
So I hear what you're saying, and I definitely echo all of it. Just taking a step back for a minute, I think this game is interesting in the way that it approaches, like how it just gets started. It's like basically you're Cutter Slade. You're like this white guy who's a military guy, has some kind of amnesia going on. And he definitely, like you're right, the gruff kind of 90s-ish. He's not like a Duke Nukem, but he's like maybe like 3 steps down from Duke Nukem a little bit.
He's more chill. Like, let me make
sure. Yeah,
he's
definitely more chill, for sure.
He's definitely more chill and open to everything. He's like an open-minded person.
Yeah, but he's got that kind of like edge to him, which is, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. But like when you start the game, you get teleported to this like alternate dimension, which is very much like the Avatar dimension. And he's just like, okay, I'm here. And it was interesting. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think it's actually interesting that he does that because clearly as the game goes on, like you realize he's part of some kind of military operation where they are breaching dimensions. He's been studying this land. It's not like, oh my God, where am I? He's like, yeah, this is our mission and I'm here. So I think that's kind of refreshing in a way. And I kind of appreciated that where he doesn't go through the usual like isekai kind of like, oh, I'm in a wild new world and I don't, he's like, no, I know you guys, you're the good guys over here. And, I appreciate that approach. That was good. That worked for me. And it definitely felt different than most of the other games that you get like this, where you usually have to go through this period of exploration, discovery, wonder. He's like, nah. I'm kind of over this stuff already. I'm just here to do my job, which is kind of cool. I like the way it feels. I think this game feels really good. I like the dodge. I like kind of running around. I didn't unlock all of the abilities that you get in the demo. In the demo, you had like flight and gliding and stuff. And I was like, oh, yes, please, let's do that. But you have to go through a lot of skill tree to get that. I didn't get that far in the main game. Yeah. But like you have a really high jump, like a ridiculous, it's like 15 feet jump. And then you get a double jump, so you can jump like 30 feet. Like that feels great. Like it's so silly, but it feels good, so you can traverse around. So I liked the guns. I thought felt fine. I really like just simply playing this game, moving the guy around.
I agree.
Jumping around. It feels great. I love it.
The shield.
Shield is great.
It feels fun to use a shield. I don't usually like shields.
I love all this. So here's the problem, and you've already kind of touched on it. I feel as though, I really don't mean this to be insulting, but I feel like it's going to be. So I'm apologizing in advance. I feel like the people who made this game are taking it way too seriously. And what I mean by that is I feel like they are way too involved in the world and the characters and the lore. And a little bit of that is necessary as lube to kind of keep the game moving along, right? You got to just like, you got to have a reason to go get the next doodad. You got to have a reason to protect this village. Like, that's all good. But dude, you do so much talking in this fucking game. Like, you're just like, you got to talk to this guy, and then there's like 5 or 6 different screens of dialogue, and then he sends you to talk to some other guy, and there's like 5 or 6 screens of dialogue to get through. There's all the weird like lore words that pop up, and then you go on a quest, and your quest is just to talk to somebody else, and you talk some more, and they spend so much time talking about everything. It's like it kills the pace
the pacing
hard.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Can I add to that and say that I don't know how many side missions you've done, but a lot of them are also busy work.
Yes.
Like I had to roll that ball. Did you have to do that one?
Oh, that fucking ball. Yes, I did.
You pushing a ball for a long time and it gets stuck and stuff like that, and you're like, this is another thing that's ruining the pacing. Like I want to go, level up and stuff.
Yeah, I just feel like I am not as interested in Cutter Slade or these Avatar aliens or this world or the dictionary of alien words you have created. I appreciate that they're there, but like I'm not interested in those. What I want to do is just play this game because it feels awesome to run around. That's what I want to do, and I feel like this game at every turn is like, no. We want you to hear this dialogue. We want you to have this long conversation with this alien guy about this thing that you don't care about because we care about it. And like, I get it. I get that you love this character. Developers and creators of this game. I get it. But you have to understand, we don't love it as much as you do. Or maybe we will if we got there. But like, it is so much to get through at the beginning of the game. It's just like, it killed all my desire to play this game. Like all I want to do was fly and glide and jump and shoot. And all they want me to do is talk. And I don't want to talk anymore. I don't care about these Avatar aliens. I don't care about this world. I don't care about the doodads. I just want to play. And maybe if I had played for a little while and gotten into it and felt invested in Cutter Slade and his jetpack and all this stuff, then I would be like, okay, well, let's talk a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit, and then keep it going. But they are so all in on getting you to buy in their world and this new dimension and their story. And the pacing of it is super, super wrong. It is so wrong. It is so front loaded and so heavy. I couldn't trudge through it, dude. Like every time I started to have a moment of joy, they would kill it with more dialogue. Yeah. And then I had to stop because I just was not having fun.
It's one of those things where it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back or something. Or how is it? 1 step forward, 2 steps back?
Yeah, exactly.
Because here's what it is. It's in one moment, it's trying to show like, hey, people are different. These aliens are obviously way different, but like it's trying to show, I think, equality and inequality, and it's saying a lot of good messages and about the youth, and also older people mixing with the youth, and then also outsiders and races and stuff. There's just so much to be said there, but then it falls into I don't want to use the word, but preachy kind of vibe, where I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. It's really important, like. Okay, but then I'm just like, I want to do the game, like you said. So I think it just kind of goes back and forth where, like, I'm, like, in awe and, like, super respectful of what they're trying to pull off and do and say. And then I'm, like, bored. So
I mean, I agree with that. I think you're definitely correct where it's like, I respect what they've done. I think they've got good things to say.
They do.
I think they've got good messages. And I honestly respect the lengths to which they have gone in order to create this fictional world. I feel like if you were the kind of person who wants to like absolutely lose yourself in some fantasy, like this is a good one because there is so much talking and so many characters to talk to and so much lore to read and so many words to learn. Like there is just so much here. I get that these people must have absolutely loved what they were doing, but you have to understand from a game development perspective, not everybody is as immediately invested as you are, and you have to walk people in slowly. You have to introduce your elements like at a good pace, and they just go all in on the whole info dump, and it drowned me. Yeah, like I couldn't get through to the good stuff that I wanted to get to, and I can't help but feel like this game is like 2 steps away from being like an all-time classic. Like I honestly feel like there's a lot of really good stuff here, but they just stumble fucked like how they were getting you there and they couldn't get you there. But I feel like man, with just a little bit of editing and a little bit of like changing of the pace, restructure the missions a little bit, like all the rest of the stuff would probably develop into like a really outstanding experience, but I just can't get to the good stuff.
Here's what I think. I think one, they were probably trying to be faithful to the original, okay? And the original old school games did have pacing problems, right?
Big time.
Second thing, if they would have treated this game like Elden Ring in a way, and hear me out, where you have all these great systems in your fun world, and then at some point they edit it so that it's not front heavy with the story, and the story starts coming out as you go along.
Yes.
Then I'm all in on this.
Yes.
I think that's the problem is like you said, there's just so much dialogue, so much to learn, so much to know. And I'm like, no, I just want to get out there.
Yeah. I mean, definitely like, let me play a little bit. And like, here's the thing. If you want to do the talking, go for it. Like, but a lot of these things are required. Like they are story required to do the progress. And so you have to talk to this guy. 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 You cannot just get to the gameplay. And, if I wanted to play the gameplay, let me do the gameplay when I come back for the story. Let me do it when I'm ready. Or if you want to just lean in the story, then you can do that. But like it is story locked. And so you can't get around a lot of this stuff. Maybe that changes later on. But like it was so thick in the beginning. I was starving for gameplay. I was like, Please let me shoot somebody. Please let me go do a jumping mission. Please let me do something because I need a break from all this fucking talking. But they are so close to having something just like, honestly, I feel like really incredible. And they got kind of in their own way on it.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I'm not deleting it, like I could just fuck around.
I deleted it.
I deleted it.
You? Yeah. I did. I couldn't get through it.
I'm keeping it around and we're going to see what we're going to see. I don't know.
All right. So there we go. That's a weird, and it's weird because I thought I was going to eat this game up when we played the demo.
Yeah.
But if you remember, neither one of us played the story aspect of the demo. We played the combat and the traversal.
Sure.
We did not play the story aspect, and that is what's bogging me down. So.
Yep.
Anyway, Outcast, A New Beginning. I've deleted it, and I feel like it's so close to being amazing, but it's not. Carlos is going to chip away at it, and there we go. All right, folks, that is the game portion of our show. We are now officially done with that, but we do have a couple non-games things to mention really quickly. Anything you want to talk about before we bounce, Carlos?
Just quickly, Extraordinary is an extraordinary show. Season 2 is out right now. I binge-watched it, finished it. It's incredible. I actually kind of cried at some point and laughed a lot.
Yeah.
And really powerful ending. Yeah. Check that out. Holy shit. Check that out.
Is it continuing or is it just a two and done?
It's going to continue. You
continue.
Can
okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm so glad. I'm pretty sure they got the funding. Also, The Signal and Constellation, both of those are out right now. Signal's on Netflix. I believe it's German. It's subtitled.
Yeah, it's German, yeah.
And Constellation is a mixture of languages, but a lot of it's English. And that's on Apple TV. Both of them are kind of the same show about a woman who goes to astronaut and she goes to space, kind of comes back and... I don't want to say I would spoil everything. So there is an astronaut involved in both of them and a family and, drama and also sci-fi weirdness. So, and Constellation's more like horror almost in a way.
Okay.
And Stephen King has been watching it and tweeting about it, saying it's incredible. So, but they're both really good and very similar. And I'm kind of watching them together. And, that mixed media thing, I'm watching them and then I'll go play Helldivers. Because it's like going to explore the space. And anyways, I bring it up because I think they're both good. And also, Three Body Problem finally is coming out. I think it's next week or very soon. And that's also a same kind of vibe. So if you've never heard
of the Three Body Problem,
it's a huge book. It's a book series.
Okay, that's right. Okay, we talked about this before.
Massive book series, and it's been in development for a long time. I think it's coming out in a couple weeks or so on Netflix finally. And yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Excellent. Anything else?
That's it. Besides, A Lot of Things podcast, I brought that back just randomly. So go to A Lot of Things podcast. It's where I just say words.
Just say words.
If you want to hear that.
If you want to hear words. All right. Just really quickly for me, I know we're kind of running long. Just a shout out to Surreal Estate, season 2. Just finished it. Started off pretty rough because I think they made some really strange character choices with the main character. This is the story about real estate agents who sell haunted properties. And they have a really cool fun cast, and they do like these little kind of Monster of the Week stories. It's good stuff. It's Canadian also, kind of like Winona Earp in the same basket. A lot of the same actors, actually. But it ended up in a good place, and I almost thought it was going to be a season finale because it kind of feels like a season finale. But they have announced there is a season 3, so they're probably going to be doing a lot of big changes in season 3, which I'm looking forward to. But it ended up in a good place. I'm glad they got there. So I do still recommend the series. Surreal Estate is really fun. Again, if you like the Canadian sci-fi shows, if you like Winona Earp, Lost Girl, something like that, this is definitely in the same bucket. So definitely check that out. I will say I watched a movie called No Way Up, which was by the same people who did, what is it, 13 Meters Down or something like that? The one where they
Up and then down.
Up and then down, right? They do shark movies. They do a bunch of shark movies, and shark movies are big in our house. And so this one was about people on a plane. They're going to Cabo. The plane crashes in the middle of the ocean, and then they're trapped inside the plane in the ocean under the water while there's sharks all around. If you have any phobias about that stuff, like skip this one, because I am not phobic about water or sharks or anything, but man, my anxiety level was kind of rising. It's not the best movie in the world. It's not the worst, but I mean, it was definitely a fun afternoon for like 90 minutes of just like shark action and what's going to happen. And, you know, it's like one of those where you just eat some popcorn, watch a movie, and you had a good experience, even if it's not like Shakespeare or anything.
Yeah.
So it was good. I thought it was fine if you like shark movies. Last thing I want to mention on the action figure front, I don't know if you remember Battle Beasts, Carlos. Remember Battle Beasts from the 80s?
Kind of. You always bring up 80s references that I forgot, but yeah.
Yeah, so Battle Beasts they came out from, I believe, Hasbro. They were small, maybe like 1.5 inch little figures that came bundled in packages of 2. And they were anthropomorphized animals that had like battle armor and weapons. They would be like, and they also had a little rub sign. I don't know if you remember, but those little black squares that were in toys a long time ago where they were black, but you put your finger on them and the heat from your finger would like a little symbol appear. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did like fire beats wood. No. Fire beats. Yeah. Fire beats wood. Wood beats water. Water beats fire. Little rock, paper, scissors thing when you bought those. And so that was like a real fun thing. I'm kind of collecting those kind of a little bit here, a little bit there as 80s nostalgia. And I found somebody on Instagram. Their account is called Battle Beasts Redux. And not only is he showcasing like the original Battle Beast, but he is designing brand new ones in the style of the 80s toy line. And he's come up with some really amazing figures. The most recent one is a snail, but he's got like a badger and a couple other guys that are just like, you know, brand new figures for this toy line, which stopped 40 years ago, but he's adding to them because he's such a fan. And the work is great. I ordered a couple of his figures, but just want to give a shout out to anybody who remembers Battle Beasts or who likes 80s toys. I love seeing these people who are kind of like carrying that spirit forward, and he's doing such a great job. So big shout out to Battle Beasts Redux on Instagram. And that's all I got. Anything else, Carlos?
Lastly, I was going to say Fallout TV show starts on April 11th, which I'm really excited about. Final trailer just dropped. And also, next episode, I will be talking, I don't know how I'm going to afford it.
About what?
Dragon's Dogma 2, baby.
Dragon's Dogma 2. Is it coming out soon?
Thursday, and I have going to find some money for it somehow in a ditch
man,
somewhere.
I'm going to have to buy that too because I love Dragon's Dogma so much. It's such amazing.
We've been waiting only like 10 or 12 years for this game.
It's only been that long.
So next episode, I will probably, or both of us will probably have our first impressions.
I will probably not be able to resist that. We did get a code, but it went to our reviewer, Darren Foreman, who's covering it right now. I'm very excited to hear what he has to say because he is also a huge Dragon's Dogma fan as well. But I guess maybe if I've got the cash, maybe we'll pony up. Maybe we'll do double coverage. We'll see what happens. So.
Yeah, again, I wish we could share the game, but one of us buy it, we both use it.
That would be great, but, you know, hey. Anyway. All right, folks, that is a show. Before we close, I would love to ask you all to leave reviews, share us on social media, and most important of all, recommend us to your friends because nothing beats good old word of mouth. Also, if you want to support the show and help us out with the cost of running the podcast, you can do that. Patreon.com/the So Videogames Podcast. And anybody at $5 or £5 or above will get Discord access to our community. Also, we do want to get your questions and comments. Hit us up at sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit us up individually. Carlos, where are we sending your traffic this week?
A Lot of Things Podcast. Google it.
There you go. As for me, I am on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Twitter. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And this is going to do it for episode 380. 380. It's a lot of podcasts.
It is.
Thank you all again for joining us here on the So Videogames Podcast, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.